So we've made it to Passau, the final town we'll be checking out here in Bavaria. But before we end our journey in Bavaria, I feel like there's a crucial element of the culture here that we've missed. And that being going to a beer garden or a bar and having a stein, which is a large beer, occasionally served in a boot. So since it's Friday evening, I'm gonna try to find an appropriate place and get Bavarian. So I've put myself together in my hilltop castle, as I'm assuming most Bavarians do. Speaking about most Bavarians, Bavarians are the biggest drinkers in Germany, not in size of course, but in liters of consumption, which is no small feat considering that Germany is actually the third country in Europe with the highest beer consumption, only after Austria and the Czech Republic. So now we're gonna head down into Passau and try to have a authentic Bavarian beer garden experience. So if you're unaware of what a beer garden is, a typical Bavarian or German beer garden consists of usually an outdoor setting with kind of like picnic tables, usually very long ones, cafeteria style, and a lot of beer naturally. And this is meant to kind of create an open social atmosphere, obviously helped by you're sitting with other people and the social lubricant that is alcohol. But since it's the winter, I don't know that we'll be having an outdoor Bavarian drinking experience. But nonetheless, I think I will be successful in getting a stein, which is a traditional big liter of German beer. Scouting the landscape, looking for the perfect pub. So I found my pub of choice. They did not have 1 liter steins, they had half a liter, so maybe I'll have to have 2. I got sat down with a nice Austrian couple, which I've heard that Austrian culture is similar to Bavarian culture. Is that true? A little bit, yeah. And to make the experience complete, I've gotten some traditional Bavarian food, I think. He said I should have got the white sausage, the bratwurst, but still a Bavarian dish. It's pretty good. I'm gonna finish this and report back later. So my new friends have left, and so has the majority of my beer, which is a draft made here at the Lowen Brauhaus in Passau. It is 5.5%, but very easy drinking and with a lot of taste, so always a sign of a quality brewmaster in the house. Sausages are really good as well, and so is the sauerkraut, another staple of Bavarian food, which most people kind of lump it all in as being typical German, but a lot of those stereotypes, along with the kind of clothing that people associate with it, with the shorts, with the overalls and the little hats, that is all Bavarian and Austrian, which was the couple that was just sitting here. So that was kind of a neat coincidence. So not exactly the Bavarian beer drinking experience that I had in mind. I think what I had heard of was a beer hall in Munich where you get in there, people are, you know, clearly a few drinks in, having a good time with their steins, their liter beers, and when you receive your beer, you kind of do a cheers where you clang your stein with the other people around you. And you do it really hard. And this is because there was once a Bavarian king who would do this because he would fear of being poisoned. So when you do a really hard cheers with someone else's glass, a little bit of your beer goes into their beer and their beer goes into your beer, so that if ever someone wanted to poison them, then they would also get poisoned. And after you do that, you put your beer down, because the king wasn't very strong, and a liter beer of holding that up, it can get pretty heavy. And then you put it down, and then once you're rested, then you take a sip. So they didn't have liter beers here, so that was a bit different, but it was still a social and open experience, something that Bavarians are known for. So that was cool. So maybe that wasn't the ideal representation of a Bavarian beer drinking experience, but I will not seek another bar, because tomorrow begins my journey bicycling along the Danube River into Austria. So if you're interested in Bavaria, you might also be interested in that video, the Danube Bike trail is one of the premier bicycling kind of checklist things to do in the world, or bucket list rather. So that should be pretty cool, and that is what's coming up next on the channel. And before I put out this video, I put out other videos on my channel of some cool cities slash towns in Bavaria, including Regensburg and Würzburg. Two beautiful cities with some really interesting history, as well as a longer video called Journey Through Bavaria, wherein I bicycle from Frankfurt all the way through Bavaria to Austria, and I was not staying in a castle the majority of the time. I was actually, because of the price of things here in Germany, I was actually sleeping in the forest on most nights. So that was a fun adventure, all part of my larger journey bicycling through Central and Eastern Europe. Before that, I bicycled from Cape Town, South Africa, all the way to Nairobi, Kenya. And before that, I bicycled from Canada, where I'm from, all the way to southern Patagonia in Argentina. And all of those videos from those adventures are available on this same YouTube channel, Hum of the Earth. And if you'd like to see an interactive map of everywhere that I went and everything that I got to see and do, and if you'd like to follow my continuing adventures bicycling through Central and Eastern Europe, you can do so by clicking the red subscribe button below the video and clicking on the bell to be notified when new videos come out. Hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good one.